You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
All right, everyone. Welcome back into another episode of the Mark Lesko Podcast. Joined by Brett once again. Brett, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, just jumping on here post-game. Talk about the game. Overall, it was, I don't know, man. I was going to get your thoughts first and then give my thoughts, but yeah.
All right.
I don't know. It was pretty frustrating. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so I mean the first half, frustrating. I mean, we left points on the board. Should have been at least 14-7, which would have been fine because, you know, we start slow usually, and that's just how we are. And then, the first half, there weren't that many penalties. A couple we wish we could have back. Second half, we came down, we scored, it looked good, everything was fine. And then offensively, the players aren't the problem. The play calling was the problem. And Nicky tried to play, he was acting as Michigan. He was trying to act like we were Michigan, putting extra blockers on the field, tight ends, offensive linemen, you name it. And we were running it down their throat. I mean, we had 200 yards rushing or whatever. We ran great. Singleton and Allen were bulldozing people the entire night. I think we might have threw 2 or 3 passes in the second half. I mean, we were playing just to burn the clock out, which I get it. You want to get out of there. But put some style points up, man, or something. Throw the ball down the field. Drew looked fine. I mean, yeah, he missed a couple guys. The field was a little slippery from what I was hearing. Yeah. Tyler Warren kind of slipped on that one. That might have been the first catch the first incompletion he's had all year, and it was catchable, but it was just a little bit behind him. Defense. They played. What's been happening, they put it up on the TV, I'm sure you saw it. In the second half, nobody's gone over 100 yards on our defense in the second half all year. Mm-hmm. That continues after tonight. Talk about sacks and tackles for loss. Zane Duran is a vulture. Dennis Sutton looked pretty good. Abdul Carter played really well. He was all over the place, flying around, pass deflection, sack, tackle for loss. The strip fumble at the end, like he was everywhere. AJ Harris had a good game. That back in the block by Zion Tracy pissed me off. There was no reason for it.
Oh, no.
AJ Harris was in front of everybody. He was taking that thing back regardless. You don't just push a guy. So that was annoying. But because of that, Katron Allen got a touchdown, which that's only his second rushing touchdown of the year. So I'm happy for him. He was bulldozing people. He does the kick the door down type of celebration. Gotta love that. The corners, they played pretty well. I mean, because the defensive line dominated and make Luke Altmaier, they made him uncomfortable most of the game. So, yeah, they completed a couple passes, but 16 for 25, 185. A lot of that was garbage time at the end. That's not a good stat line. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, whatever, you know. And Drew didn't have a touchdown because he wasn't given the chance to really get one. So, I don't know. Overall, I'm not too worried. I know Nicky, his play calling up to this point was really good for the most part. So I'm not worried. I think next week against UCLA, he'll try to air it out some, but I don't know. It just wasn't in the game plan. So, like, I'm mad at him for calling nonstop runs, but that was his game plan, to wear them down. And it worked to win the game, but it didn't work for us to – I mean, we would have covered. which I'm kind of glad we didn't cover only because I bet against it. I took the plus 19 Illinois because I figured they would put up more of a fight than 7, but clearly they didn't. So, what's up, Brett? Gareth Brooks.
Well, first, yeah, who is that?
Not sure actually.
But yeah, well, check in.
What's going on?
I'm gonna check. I want to check the Alabama score real quick.
Yeah, my dad just texted me, said, "You watching the game? They must be coming back or something."
It's let me see. What's the score?
Oh, it's my boy Dom. Hey Dom, what's up, dude?
So
how you doing, man?
It's 41-34, Dom.
It's 40 what?
41-34 Bama.
Jesus, they came back like crazy.
Yeah, I had some people asking me today, like, who to bet on, and I said take Bama money line.
So real quick, Jalen Reed sack, Kobe King sack, Abdul Carter 1.5 sacks, Tony Rojas half a sack, Dennis Sutton sack, Smith Vilbert half a sack, 7 sacks. I mean, dude, they went all out. I mean, that's just nuts.
Well, the thing about Abdul Carter is, yeah, he had 7 total tackles, 3 solo, and 1.5 sacks. Technically, I think he had 2 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. And here's the thing, man. Like, overall,
crazy.
The play calling, it's not the players, man. Drew Aller I think he looked great. I mean, his vision is insane. The windows he's throwing into, the way he looks off the defenders, I mean, he's looking really good. Like, he's making NFL plays tonight. He looked good. Drew Aller is a different quarterback than what we've seen in the past, man. Like, he's phenomenal. I'm really happy with that. The run blocking, again, could have been better. I mean, I have the stats up right now, but the run blocking, I think, is going to be our weak spot going forward, and it might be that might be picked apart at some point. But
I mean, they were dominating. I don't know. I mean, it looked pretty good overall.
Yeah, like, not the whole game. I want to see – I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but I want to see Singleton and K-Tron be able to break one out. And I don't know. They can't get past that second and third level. I'm not sure why. I think what they try to do is they try to set up Singleton like they did Saquon, where once he gets to the second and third level, they let him do his thing. Nick Singleton is not Saquon Barkley. He's not shifty like that. He's pretty much a north and south guy with speed. He's not a shifty guy. So when you get him into the second and third level, he's not going to juke anyone out. Like, I don't know how they can possibly do it. Maybe take a lineman or two deeper downfield, but they have to give that guy a little bit of enough room to where he can break away. But it's frustrating not seeing that. But they called the wrong plays at the wrong times, man. Like, on that 4th down, on that 4th and 3, just run the ball. On 3rd and 7, pass the ball. Instead of running it. It's pretty annoying when they're calling these stupid plays at the wrong time. I mean, it's horrible.
And I think they did it because they wanted to give Xander, is that his name? Our kicker, he's awful. They wanted to give him another shot at like 40 yards, and he couldn't even make that. So I don't know, man.
Dude, I swear, if they don't get it, like if they don't bench that kid,
they're gonna bench him now.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, man, because he's
they're gonna have to.
And I hate to say that about my own team, but he cannot kick anymore. He can't
kick in the game. He can practice kick all he wants, but in the game he can't kick. That's the problem. So you got to put Ryan Barker, the walk-on. He actually kicked our last extra point. It was Ryan Barker. Yeah. He's a walk-on kicker. Put him in there, or put the transfer we got from Tulsa. Forget his name at the moment, but put one in there.
The number one kicker in his class? Wasn't he the number one kicker in his class?
2 or 3 years ago when he came in. Yep.
I mean, it's so bad.
He's got the leg. He can kick far, but his accuracy is not good.
And I don't get it, man. He's at home. Like, he doesn't even have the crowd against him. I mean, you go on the road against USC or whoever, you know, and you got him out there. I have zero confidence that he can hit a kick.
Yeah.
So he can't kick anymore, man. Like that's it. Like like get him in there for some extra points maybe, but you can't trust him. You cannot trust him. Like they need to do something about that. I don't know what they can do with him in college. Like the NFL, he'd probably be cut. He'd probably be gone by a long shot.
After 41-yard kicks or whatever they were.
And, I mean, I definitely can't hit those kicks, but if you're a college kicker and you can't hit 2 40-yard field goals, then I don't know what to tell you, man. And that's what
you have a scholarship. You have a scholarship. So I mean, you got to make them.
Exactly.
Back to the Singleton thing real quick. What I didn't like was that one play. Do you remember? All he had was one guy to beat, and he's gone. It would have been a touchdown. He couldn't beat him. He couldn't, like you said, he's not shifty. He just tried to run through him, and he didn't get a good angle. Other than that, he played a good game. I mean, he had almost 100 yards. Allen had 104 or something. Yeah, he had 94. They both were past 5 yards per carry, so they both had good games. But you said you wanted to see like the long run. Well, Singleton was getting long runs on the first couple games. He just didn't get one in this game. But you got to give Illinois credit. They were on the defense. They were playing defense the majority of the second half, if you think about it. And, I mean, they were getting gutted run-wise, but they were stopping us enough to not score points in the red zone. So you got to give them credit. But we could have took advantage of that, like I said, if we would have threw the ball at least once or twice.
Overall, like at the end of the day, man, like stupid penalties, offsides at the worst times. I mean, Abdul at the end of the night had a pretty good game, but he was offsides. Denai was offsides. I mean, stupid penalties, blocking the back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and then he threw that ball to Julian Fleming, and he was
getting rushed. So he just had to.
I'll just say, as a receiver, you got to know where the first down marker is, and I'm pretty sure that's his job to make sure he's at the first down marker, because Drew threw the ball to him, and he was well behind it, and then he tried to like go through that guy, and I mean,
the guy made a good tackle. The guy made a good tackle, but if Drew would have had that pass back, if he had a second more time or whatever, he wouldn't have threw it. He threw it behind because that's all he could do at the moment. Julian had to go out for it, which cost too much time. If he would have been to him, that would have gave Julian more time to turn around, and he would have had a first down. But Julian had to take time to go get the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, catching it in stride wasn't a possibility because they had a free rusher come out. So it was a good defensive play. But it was just a bad play call. The play before that, 3rd and 7, they ran the ball. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, put this nail in the coffin, dude. Put the nail in the coffin right now.
Yeah, there's other times where they could have easily been up by 10 points, and they went for it. And then when they didn't go for it, they missed the field goal. But, like, there was a couple of times where they could have kicked the field goal and they didn't. Yeah. And that was before we knew that he was going to be 0-2 on the night. But Drew was 15 for 21, 135 yards. Katron had 100 yards. Singleton had 94. Both had touchdowns. Warren had a touchdown. Wait, what? The team had – what does that mean? What is that? You see that? It says the team had -2 yards?
Maybe. I don't know what the heck that is.
I think Mina Kimes wrote up these stats on ESPN.
I don't
I have no idea what that means.
I don't know.
It says team won for -2. Maybe that means like sacks. I don't know.
Maybe if it meant negative rushing yards for Drew would show negative rushing yards, but he doesn't. He had a couple carries, and he even with a sack or two, he still had 15 yards rushing. So I don't understand what that is, but we'll just throw it out.
Like I said, I think Mina Kimes wrote them up. So we got Harrison Wallace, 4 receptions, 50 yards, no passing touchdowns, which again, man, like I like that we were running the ball. I think we should have done that most of the night, but they just call these stupid calls at different times.
At stupid times. Yep.
And again, Drew did fine. I mean, I think he looked good. Some of the throws he made in windows, that's a college quarterback right there. I mean, that's NFL football that he's playing tonight. And then the running game, I mean, there's only so much they can do. I mean, the O-line, I think no matter what, I think they can improve. The running blocking is just, it could be better. I mean, we had Drew Shelton had a penalty or two. I mean, just dumb penalties here and there, man. It's just it's going to catch up to you. And then if you're playing, and I do think Illinois is a good team. I mean, they beat Nebraska at Nebraska. That is very, very hard to do. I don't even know if Penn State could do that.
Our defense made them look very average. That's how good our defense played tonight, dude.
Our defense is now. Our defense.
That was
if you watch the game, man. Like I feel like our defense didn't look that good, but they actually did pretty good. I mean,
in the first half, second half, they played off the charts. I mean, if you think about it, that was our best defensive performance all year by a long shot. Like overall, like as a whole game, look at the sacks, look at the tackles for loss. They got the pick at the end, man. Like they put the nail in the coffin. Should have had a pick six.
Yeah. I mean, what it comes down to, man, is they had a lot of dumb penalties, and the play calling was dumb in the sense that they didn't call the right stuff at the right time. I honestly, as a fan, I'm watching it and I'm like, why are you calling that there? Or why are you doing this here? Or why are you doing that there? And then when you're returning a pick six and you block a guy in the back, it's
He's
like
not even
that
close
is the most
to the guy.
That's the most like obvious penalty you can do in sports is a block in the back. I mean, I don't get it.
I saw it too. I saw it in real time, and I was like, I hope the refs didn't see it, but obviously I knew it was coming back. I was like, come on, dude. The linebackers look good. I mean, Kobe King, Tony Rojas, they look great. Even Tamir Robinson looked pretty good. Zane Durant is insane, dude. I don't know. He looked great.
Zane Durant. The thing about Zane Durant is like he's massive, and
he's a brick house.
And like the stuff that he does, I mean, you know, when you talk about D1 football, man, he's a definition of a D1 football player. I mean, he's big, he's shifty, he's fast, and then you have like
he's only a junior.
I mean, and then that penalty on Tony Rojas.
That was dumb. He didn't have to do that.
I understand
He'd knock the heck out of him.
I understand knocking a guy off his route. I mean, that's basic football, but he just like tackled him. And it's like, what do you think is going to come of that when you do that? And I mean, what do you not know the rules or what?
The problem was that guy, Tony Rojas, would like push him out of the way to get to the quarterback, but that guy wasn't even paying attention to Tony Rojas. He was like looking at the quarterback. Like Tony Rojas could have went right around him and tackled Altmaier, and that would have been fourth down.
Well, if Altmaier threw it to him, he would have picked it right off too. That's another thing.
What's crazy is if they wouldn't have had that bad snap in the red zone, they would have scored a touchdown on us. They would have. It would have been 14-14, man. They had that bad snap, it set them back, and then we just started killing them. So that was a critical play too. The bad snap.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, like obviously you give Illinois credit. I mean, there's no doubt you give them credit. The fact that they were doing that with us, I mean, is pretty impressive. I mean, early on, man, you know, I said if you're going to take a bet, take the over. And I don't think the weather was that much of a factor tonight. I mean, the field might have been a little wet, but I mean, it was 7-7 in like the first half of the first quarter. And I'm thinking, well, the over's going to hit. And then 21-7 is the final score. I mean, it, you know, at the end of the day, man, it really at the end of the day, this is what it comes. This is it. The coaching was. I just don't get it, man. I don't understand the play calling on offense, and that's what it came down to. It wasn't the players. It really wasn't the execution of the plays. That's really what that's it. The play calling was bad. Yeah. I mean, it looks bad. They just called stuff that I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense. I mean,
Tyler Warren was taking too many snaps as quarterback. Like, I get a play or two, like it works, but he took like 5 or 6 like plays under
Why
center.
Why did they have Bo Biola in there randomly? Here's the thing, man. When you have a cold backup quarterback coming into a game like that, and he's taking the ball, running it, throwing it, whatever. First of all, he's cold. Okay. He's not in there the whole game. There is such a thing as like game speed. And I mean, when you're out there, man, when you're out there and you're playing, like you have, you got the sweat going on, like, you know what the rhythm of the game is, you know what you're looking at. And then you bring in a cold backup and he's out there running the ball around. I mean, he could fumble. He could throw an interception like he did last week. And then you got the tight end, again, like you just said, at quarterback. Not only that, man, but they have their starting quarterback at receiver, which do you know how dangerous? If I'm a defender, okay, and I'm going up against Penn State, and I see the starting quarterback lined up at receiver, I don't care if I'm getting a flag. I'm going to go up there. I'm going to clean his clock. I'm going to knock him out. I mean, why not, man? He's a sitting duck out there by himself.
He's pretty big. I mean, it'd be hard to.
He is, but you know what I'm saying, man?
Good. I know what you're saying.
Dude, he's the starting quarterback.
I don't even know why he's standing there. Like, just take him off the field if you're bringing him in. I mean,
I have no idea. And then they took was it Sal Wormley in motion? And it's like, huh?
Vegalawane. They put him in motion.
It's like, huh? Okay, so they're sending a guard in motion across the field. I wonder where the ball's going. Probably wherever that guy's going. That's where the ball's going. I mean, it's like, I don't know, dude. I just
still, he's a beast. You got to block him.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's a big dude, but at the end of the day, like I keep repeating myself, but dude, just to finish, like what I have to say, it's just I'm not pleased with the performance. I mean, again, like Jared said last week, they haven't showed dominance, man. Like I just feel like they don't have an identity yet, and I just feel like it's going to catch up to them at some point. Yeah. Like USC, Ohio State, I just feel like it's got. And the only thing keeping us alive is the fact that we have so much talent. That's the only thing keeping us alive right now, because we don't have an identity yet, man. We just don't. The identity is not there. I mean, what is our identity on offense? What's our identity?
Yeah, I mean, this game took us further away from the identity because the way they called the game, they just ran the ball in the second half.
What are they doing, dude? Like, what is their plan on offense right now? I honestly don't know what they're trying to do.
If the way they called it, like I said, was good for certain reasons, but if you're going to do that, if you call 5 more passing plays at those moments where we needed them, and you get completions, like this game looks way different. Like I wouldn't have been mad. If you call, like Drew had in the first, I wish you could see how many passes in the first half. He threw most of his passes. He threw 2 or 3 passes the whole second half. Like you can't not do that. Like you can't not pass the ball, man. Like I can't say it enough. Oh, by the way, real quick, Alabama went down the field, or no, Georgia went down the field. Threw a pick in the end zone. Game over. They would, if they would have scored a touchdown, would have been a tie game. It's crazy.
Yeah, I figured Bama would win that game. But here's the thing, like here's the thing about Georgia and Bama is so Georgia had the minus the points on the game. They were minus 1.5. And I'm thinking, and they said Georgia hadn't given up a touchdown all year, okay? And they almost got beat by Kentucky. Okay, so first of all, Kentucky beat Ole Miss. That's good for them. It's a fluke win, but good for them.
Yeah.
If you're Georgia and you barely beat Kentucky on the road and you haven't given up a touchdown all year, it doesn't mean anything, man. You got the Heisman Trophy winner, Jalen Monroe. He's going to win the Heisman Trophy. At quarterback, I don't care if you've given up a touchdown all year. You're not going to win that game. And they didn't. Now, Georgia came back. Good for them. But there's no way on God's green earth that Georgia was going to beat Bama. There's no way. And there's 2 teams right now because Penn State, in my opinion, has not solidified themselves as consistent enough on offense. They are a very good team, but they haven't showed any identity on offense.
We're still second. We're still the second best team in the Big Ten as of right now. The way I look at it.
But the two teams that, in my opinion, are going to the national title this year that have a shot at winning are Alabama and Tennessee. I think Tennessee is going to be the national champions. Now, if it doesn't work out for Penn State, I still think Penn State is one of the best teams in the country. But at the end of the year, I think we're going to see Tennessee, another orange team. I think they're going to be the national champions, man. Now they have to play Georgia, they have to play Bama, they have to play all those teams. But there's – and then if you want to throw in Texas with first of all, Arch Manning.
I think Texas.
I was with a bunch of Giants fans today. Give it one more year. Suck for 2 years, and you're going to get Arch Manning in the draft. You're probably going to be the first pick. You're going to get Arch Manning in the draft because he's going to be the number one pick.
I think I would take Texas over Tennessee right now. Tennessee beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma doesn't look good, so I mean that doesn't mean anything.
Tennessee and Alabama, who I think are the best in the country, and then you got Ohio State, and then I think Penn State's up there too. Where talent-wise, man, Penn State is so good, but like we just said, the play calling, I don't get it. I honestly, I don't get it. I don't understand what they're trying to do, what they're trying to show, what if they're holding stuff back. I really don't get it, man. Like I'm at a loss for words as to what exactly they're trying to do because, again, on 3rd and 7, you're running the ball. On 4th and 3, you're throwing an out route to Julian Fleming. At a time when you should take points, they're going for it, and they're calling a stupid play. I mean, they shot themselves in the foot so many times tonight.
Yep.
I don't know what to say. I mean, and it's so frustrating to watch, dude. Like, I'm just like, what are you doing? And they're lucky that the defense is so good. The defense is unbelievably good. That defense can play against anyone.
Oh yeah. After seeing
what against Tennessee, Bama, anybody, I think they would be.
Dude.
I mean, but the offense.
I wish you could see Ryan Williams, the 17-year-old in Alabama, the receiver. Dude, the 75-yard touchdown catch he has when Alabama was trailing Georgia by 1. This is before this was with 2 minutes left. Dude, you should see. I wish you could see this play. Oh my God, it's insane.
Is it on YouTube?
ESPN posted on Instagram. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Just type in Ryan Williams 75-yard touchdown to take the lead or something.
See that catch for that Ohio State kid?
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith is insane. But this kid's, just as good. Dude, he has 2 defenders running after him. He just stopped in his tracks, does a 180 to fake them off, and then just walks away. It was insane. The juke move that he made was just crazy.
But that kid from Ohio State, he was the number 1 receiver in his class. And then they got the number 1 receiver in the next class coming in. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about the rich get richer. Ohio State, dude, they have the 2 best receivers in each class back to back. You know how crazy that is? And then you got that kid, you got him who's a freak. And then you got this kid from Alabama, man. Can you imagine if Penn State had just one of them? How different it could be? I mean, it's just Penn State again. No matter who they're playing, they have to dominate and they have to win playoff games because if they don't, man, they're never ever going to get these guys that they need to get.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's never going to happen. They're just going to.
Dude, Brian Hartline has to leave for that. Brian Hartline's there. It's impossible. You can't beat the guy. He played there. He's insane. You can't out recruit him. It's impossible.
I can't remember if it was him or someone else who was.
We got a good class coming in though. People ratings aren't everything. Yeah. We got good players coming in. They could be really good.
No. But you see this kid from Ohio State and Georgia, dude. Those ratings show something. You know what I mean? Those guys are unbelievable. That dude from Ohio State, he had a one-handed catch in the end zone tonight.
Yep.
I can't find the play, Brett. If you have it on Instagram, send it to me. I'll pull it up.
Okay.
Anybody else cuss up a storm after the block in the back on pick 6? Yeah, we nearly broke our TV. So. Yeah,
I was super angry about that.
And AJ Harris, dude. who had a phenomenal game. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
that
looked
kid
good.
is really good. Has a pick six taken away from him. And one thing I like tonight is the refs are pretty fair. I mean, they're calling it both ways. The white hat, he had a Polish last name, like me. So it's always funny to see see a Polish last name on the TV. But yeah, Matt Fakizi, however you say your name. Thanks for commenting. Yeah,
There were other plays that made me more mad than that, just because I knew we were going to win at that point. So but I was still unhappy. KJ Hamler was at the game. That's cool.
Well, he's not playing right now, is he?
No, the Bills cut him. I mean, he's had a lot of injuries, man. It's hard to come back to it. Really good college player. Never really got to make his debut. Well, I mean, he looked good on the Broncos for a little bit after he got there, but
you talk about a player who was at the top of his class, KJ Hamler.
Yeah, dude.
There's been a couple guys, him and Deshaun Hamilton both. They went to the Broncos and they didn't really pan out.
Yeah,
they didn't really do much, especially
Deshaun. The Broncos was also a dumpster fire at that time, so you can't blame them 100%.
Well, Russ was KJ's coach.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the story when I gave him a ride? KJ Hamler. Did I ever tell you about that?
No, I didn't.
So I used to do Uber and Lyft, and this was the spring of his senior year of high school. KJ Hamler.
Mm-hmm.
I picked him and a couple other guys up at Hartranft Hall. You know where Hartranft is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I drove them out to this apartment complex out near Walmart on Viro. Okay. It's like 20-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
From the time I picked him up to the time I dropped them off, they were all arguing about who was faster.
Hamler and
KJ, I don't know who the other two guys were. I don't remember, but they were all arguing the whole ride about who was faster. And KJ was back there. They were just going at him. They were like, KJ, big and fast beats little and fast. He's like, no, it doesn't. And they were just going back and forth. And I thought, that's one of the most competitive guys I've ever been around in my life. They were arguing in a car ride to a party about who was faster. And and I'm thinking, dude, KJ Hamler's here on spring of his senior year. Obviously, this kid's like a freak,
Yeah.
And they're just all arguing about who is faster, what's faster. They were talking about like the physics of being faster, and it was a crazy conversation.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was like one of those things you had to be there, man. It was just funny to listen to. But here's another thing I was gonna say. Question: was it a mistake moving Carter to the end? Not impacting like I thought he would through first few games.
After tonight, no. He had a breakout game tonight. He played well. He was rushing the QB the entire game. The QB was slippery a couple times, but
here's the thing: what they do to him is they double and triple team him. He's getting smashed in the face all night, every game. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it was a mistake because to me, he just doesn't look natural in that position. I think. That's a good position. That's a good question. Like, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean they should move him back to linebacker? Like, no, but dude,
tonight,
I don't know.
He played better tonight.
More of an impact.
He dropped down coverage and he had the tip ball. Like, he played both positions tonight. I think if you keep him as a hybrid, I think that's your best fit for him. I don't think you should keep him at defensive end or linebacker. I think doing both. It benefits the team the most, to be honest with you.
I mean, we play a 4-2-5 now. Mm-hmm. If they had him at like a TJ Watt stance, I think he would maybe do a little better. But they got him down to they got him down in a 3-point stance, and like at the end of the day, he's a freak. Okay, you got LeVar Arrington basically playing D end right now. That's who you have there. Micah Parsons, and here's the thing about Abdul Carter. The way he plays, his ability, he's better than Micah Parsons. He's probably almost as good as LeVar Arrington. He's a freak. I mean, he is an absolute freak. He's easily one of the best linebackers Penn State's ever had. I mean, I think he's like top 3 probably.
Yeah, I mean, athletically, I'd agree. It's just it's hard to say, but yeah.
I mean, and we didn't see Micah play a lot. That's another thing that goes against him. But I don't know, man. I don't know if it was a mistake or not. All I know is it just doesn't seem like it's natural for him. But at the end of the day, like, and I'm sure Maddie, you can give your thoughts, but if he's getting double teamed and triple teamed every play, and you know how hard it is to do that.
Yeah,
I mean. And if you watch, man, when they hit him a little harder than most other guys. Like, they're hitting him. They're trying to knock him out, knock him out of the game. I mean, they're trying to hurt him. Every time he gets hit, dude, he's getting hit really hard. He's getting hit in the face. I mean, they go after him. Every team, they have to, dude. Yeah. He's like Zaire Newton from Illinois times 10. He's a freak, dude. He's like, he's a game-changing player.
He's spinning around, like, doing crazy stuff.
Carter is one of the best players in the nation, and he's going to be probably a top 5 pick.
Yep. Regardless of what position he's playing during the play, you have to account for him, dude. He's going to cause disruption. You don't know, you think he's blitzing down the middle. Nope, he's dropping back, and he's trying to go for an interception. Or you put him on the side. I think he is better at blitzing when he's just standing up than 3-point stance. I think he's just more natural that way. And he was blitzing. He was doing that tonight. He was coming around the corner just standing up. Maybe you just have to game plan it better for what suits him, is what it comes down to. I think this was his breakout game. The way he looked more comfortable. He was all over the place. And Illinois has a pretty good offensive line, and we made it look like they don't. So, we came through.
Yeah. You look at the stats, dude, he had a good game. 7 total tackles, 3 solo, 3.5 tackles for loss. He had 2 sacks. Mm-hmm. I was listening to Steve Jones. He said he had 2 sacks. Now, for him, that's, pretty average. But you're right, man. Looking at the numbers.
Yep.
For a guy who
tackles for loss is really good, man. 3.5 tackles for loss.
I'll tell you who was making me mad tonight was Jalen Kimber. He was kind of
he's
making me mad because he
looks lazy. That one play where one of the receivers at Illinois caught it, he just stood there. He could have did something. He put his arm out and he put his arm up at the end, but he didn't even try. I don't know what's going on. I think that's why they put Elliott Washington in eventually for a while, because he was playing better.
So we got Jalen Reed.
He looked good. Jalen Reed he had a sack.
Kobe King, Abdul Carter, Key Wheatley, Zane Durant. Okay, here's the thing. You got
Jalen Reed's stats are insane.
You got defensive back, linebacker, defensive back, and then a D tackle. 5th in tackles, man.
Yep.
I mean,
tell me, man, Zane Durant's
we're
different,
lucky to
man.
have a guy like that.
Yep.
And I think it's a greater point, and why I think a lot of people do have an issue with James Franklin is he gets this great talent. He's a great recruiter. But what do they do with them when they're here? I mean, again, man, the defense I think was fine. I mean, they jumped off sides, which makes you want to, throw stuff across the room because it's so frustrating. But I mean, offense, man. Can you think of anything right now that would make you think okay, this is what we're going to do against UCLA. This is what we're going to do against USC, and maybe that's the point. But what is the identity of our team? The identity right now for me is we don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. In a bad way. I mean,
we look different in every game we played offensively, but I think they're trying to see what works and what doesn't. But you got to figure it out. And like we said, I mean, it's not the players, it's the play calling in certain moments. The running backs are doing their job. Drew's doing his job as much as he's given for play calling, and the receivers are catching it for the most part when they're throwing the ball. And you know what I mean? I think Cole Nicky's probably going to look at this game and be like, I messed up here, I messed up there. I got to clean this up to make us a better offensive team. I think he needs to take a look in the mirror and clean some stuff up.
Yeah, dude. Like it's.
It wasn't Franklin.
Point,
Franklin
man,
wasn't calling plays. I don't know.
No, and Franklin, I'll say this, and he's always kind of been this way, but I mean, he looks pissed.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy.
I mean, he looks very, very, very angry. And I don't know exactly what it's about, but he looks mad, and he's yelling into the headset. I mean, and the people on the sideline, if you notice, like it happened like last week too, the people around Franklin, they're just like, they look scared. Like, what are we doing? Is there something we're doing wrong? Like he's, I don't know what he's angry about. I think it's the execution, but he does not look happy at all. And I don't know if he's giving Kotelnicki an earful, or I mean, even Tom Allen, man. Like the defense, they got away with some stuff. I mean, Illinois could have had at least 2 more field goals, so it could have been 21-13.
I mean, I think because of the offense not scoring on those drives, that put the defense in a tough spot a couple of times, man. But overall, I mean, you take the penalties away on defense, our defense played elite.
But what's he look so mad elite, for?
But Franklin, execution on some of those plays in the red zone. I mean, we got down to the red zone and probably got a goose egg 3 separate times where we should have had 3 to 7 points, man. That's a lot of points. We should have had 34 points tonight, dude. Let's be honest. I mean, it should have been 34 to 10 or something like.
Yeah, I mean, we give our score predictions for a reason because we think that's what should happen. But mine was 35-17. But here's the thing too: like the running game was working pretty well, and I understand you don't want to run every play, but I mean, dude, whatever's working.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. I mean, I don't get it, dude. Like they just, I don't know if they try to get too fancy or they want to do something else. They want to try this. They want to try that. If they're looking at like, it's not the stats, but what's the term? It's not stats. It's what the, like if you do this so many times here, then you should do that. Like on
analytics.
Yeah, so they look at the analytics. Like it seems like they look at that too much too. It's like
like just do what feels right, and
and it's working. Run the ball. If Tyler Warren running up the middle works, run Tyler Warren up the middle. And here's another thing too about running him, man. He wasn't carrying the ball well tonight. He's carrying the ball out here. I mean, it could have been knocked out so easily. Yeah. And then what are you going to say? The tight end was carrying the ball and he fumbled. Well, no kidding. He's not a running back. It's like I just don't get it, dude. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I'm happy that we won. I mean, they did just fine. Our 2 running backs each had a touchdown, which is exactly what should have happened because they were doing all the work all night. But what are we going to do going forward, man? I don't know what to say about this team, about this offense, because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know what they're going to do against really good teams. I mean, we really have. Okay, so we have Ohio State. Really good. I mean, what did they do today? I don't even know. I was tailgating today, so I don't even know.
They beat up Michigan State.
Right.
Which we all knew would happen. So let's say
and then
38-7. Nothing too crazy.
So we got Ohio State. We've got Wisconsin. We got Washington. Okay, so those probably are 3 best opponents. UCLA next week.
We have time to clean stuff up. We have a bye week in between the Wisconsin and USC games, so I'm not worried about any of that yet. They're going to look at the tape tonight and see what worked and what didn't work, and they're going to take out that crap that didn't work, and that's what I can't wait until they make some changes.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
I hope they make some serious changes because they have to. They really do.
You got to do what the defense is giving you too. So like, Illinois has a good pass defense. They have good corners. So maybe Kotelnicki was like, I don't want to take shots and put this game on tilt. If I don't have to, I'm going to run the ball. So he was smart to do that because we were running the ball. But then, like we talked about already a few times, certain moments, 3rd and 7, you got to pass it there. I'm sorry, but
I don't know if they were doing it on purpose, because there was a couple times where they almost had a big play down the sideline, but they kept giving out that short post route. Short post route. They kept giving it up. And I'm like, are you doing that on purpose or what?
The Amari Evans deep ball, it was short. If Drew puts a little bit more on it, that's a touchdown. So, but, I mean, the good thing about throwing it short, as Franklin said before, that gives a chance for pass interference, which is simply what happened on that play. But you throw it a little bit further, man, that's a touchdown. So, would have been nice to see that. Overall, I'm not worried with the offensive team. I'm worried with the play calling in certain moments moving forward. And listen, I think it's going to get better. I think that's the worst we've seen Cole Mickey. The players did fine. Yeah, we have great players. They're doing their thing. They're catching balls. Harrison Wallace looked great. He was the leading receiver on the team tonight, and that's what you want to see. He just wasn't given the opportunity to get any more catches because we didn't pass the ball. So when people were like, "Oh, congrats on the mid-off," like on Instagram, like, "Oh, I wasn't watching this mid-off," like, you obviously didn't watch it because you're saying Drew's mid or the team's mid, but you don't actually know that we ran the ball the entire time because that's all we had to do. So
wait, who stop said that?
Making them. Just people on Instagram on like let's say On3 posted the final score, like Penn State gets the win, and people are like, "Oh, mid-off." It's like you didn't watch the game then because obviously Drew was fine. He just look at the stats. He wasn't throwing the ball, mid-off. So mid-off, yeah. No, it doesn't. Illinois is a good team. We made them look mid. To stop Illinois to 7 points is great. I mean,
maybe like a mid game of watching wise, maybe it was mid, but they're not
watching wise, yeah. Maybe that's what they meant. I don't know, but
and here's the thing too.
It's trolls.
All right. So yeah. All right. So we got. Is this the top 25? Shoot.
We're gonna move up 2 spots. So
yeah, we're gonna move up. So okay. So
we're going to 7.
I'm gonna go to the top 25 here real quick, and then pull that up, and then we can hop off, Brett. But
okay.
So we got. Okay, so we've got Texas at number 1, deservedly so. Georgia, they might drop to like 7 or 8, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bama, Texas will be. What was the final score of Texas? Do you know?
I mean, they blew out a crappy team. Who'd they play? Texas football. They played Mississippi State 35-13. I mean,
all right. So Bama's going to be probably 1. Texas will be 2. Ohio State will be 3. Yeah. Tennessee, they have a bye week. I don't know what Tennessee will do. Miss is going to drop. Miami should drop. Oregon, what did they do?
Bye week, I think.
No, they're up 17-3 to UCLA.
Oh, they're playing UCLA right now. That's right.
But we're going to move up. Okay, so it's going to be Bama 1, Texas 2, OSU 3.
We moved to 7. I mean, think about it. We're not going to move up crazy. We beat a ranked team, but I mean,
is Tennessee moving to 4?
Probably, just because it's Tennessee.
You think so?
I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to jump the whole way up there.
All right.
I mean, they're going to want to see more, but
it's going to be Bama 1, Texas 2, Ohio State 3, Tennessee 4.
I don't see Miami.
Man, we could be 5.
Possibly. I mean, our win looked better than Miami's, so.
Yeah, we look better than. I mean, Oregon. I mean, Ole Miss is going to drop.
Yeah, they're going to drop to 17 or 18 or something.
All right.
Dude.
So I'm just going to say, even though Miami doesn't deserve it. Okay, so let's say Oregon blows out UCLA, which they're up 17-3 now. Yeah. Bama, Texas, Ohio State, Tennessee, Oregon, us, Miami. So we're probably going to be like 6 or 7. And then we got UCLA next week. And then I don't know, man. I mean, it doesn't mean much, but still, it's like,
yeah.
Where are we going to be? So we got UCLA at USC, Now, if we beat USC, because USC just beat Wisconsin blew that game. But we got USC. And again, I said it. I don't care that it's at USC. I think we win that game. Wisconsin's going to be a sleeper for sure.
Wisconsin looked really good in the first half today and then looked terrible in the second half. So you don't know what you're going to get with them. But they look good in the first half.
And they're the opposite of us. You know, like we're a second half team pretty much on both sides of the ball. But then we got Ohio State. Okay, so
yeah.
What time is that going to be, Ohio State, Penn State?
It's going to be 12 o'clock, dude. Big noon. It's going to be a helmet stripe game, so technically a white out during the day in the way. Helmet stripe is just one thing of blue, one stripe.
So it's going to be at home at noon.
If our defense plays lights out, then that gives us a chance, but offense needs to step up.
We're going to have So probably going to be 6 or 7. We play UCLA. We'll see how they do there. At USC, again, man, like this offense, I don't know, man, because we just, like Jared said, like we have yet to show dominance, and I agree. I don't think we've shown dominance yet. And you've got UCLA at home, and then you got at USC. Like, what are we going to do on offense? What are we going to do on offense against Wisconsin? What are we going to do on offense against Ohio State? What are we going to do on offense against Washington? I mean, I don't know, but we're getting into tonight was game 1 of the meat of our schedule. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It needs to be studied. I'm going to have to listen to like Blue White extensively to understand maybe what T Frank is thinking, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know where.
T Frank has a really good perspective, so I'm interested in seeing what he has to say.
And he knows what he really comes from. I mean, he gets emotional, and not in a bad way, but he's coming from a standpoint where he's not even a Penn State fan.
No, he's not. He probably likes them because he covers them. But he's not.
Isn't he a Utah fan or something like that?
He's not a college football fan, I don't think. I mean, I think he's mainly his wife's a Utah fan, I think, because she went there. But no, he's a Buffalo Bills fan. He's an NFL guy, so. But no, I think he's gonna have a similar aspect to what we were talking about. Like the game plan was to run the ball. That's what we did. Some kind of iffy play calls here and there, and it's things that you can clean up. If it's just play calling, that can be cleaned up. It wasn't the player's fault. So,
by the way, I just want to say this too, man. Like, can we stop with the celebrating after every play?
I mean, everyone in every team does that. It's not us. Everyone.
I mean, we're up 14-7, and before the play's even over, they're already celebrating. And I'm like, you guys are up 14-7.
Yeah.
I mean, who was it?
I gotta go to bed here, dude.
Yeah. I think it was Brett. Who was it, man? It was the one play. Jalen Reed knocks the ball away.
Mm-hmm.
And before the play's even over, he's running off celebrating. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? The play's not even over yet. Do you notice that?
Yeah, I notice other teams doing it too, though. So it's just like a football thing. It's stupid, but I noticed a lot of people doing that today, like on other teams. So I don't know. It's weird, but we got some things to clean up. Penalties for sure. I think they'll put some work in this week. I mean, UCLA, we should be able to toss the rock around on them. So we'll see.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on. Thank you guys for commenting. Please like, share, subscribe. Who's Dominic? How do you know him?
Went to high school with him. My man Dom.
Oh, yeah. Well, he must know about our podcast if he's on here. So.
Yeah, I mean his name is Girth Brooks, so I was like, "Who's that?" But he's just got a different YouTube name. But
I don't know who Matty is. I don't think he's commented on here before. Matty.
I'm not sure, but yeah, thanks for coming on, Dom and Matt.
Yeah, thanks, guys. All right, Brett. You have a good night, man. You have a good day
at
work
too,
tomorrow. Thank you guys
man.
for listening. We will see you later this week for Pre-game UCLA, another big game. So
yes, sir. Let's
see you
go.
guys.
See ya.